Hi guys, welcome to part two. We're going to go ahead today and run our photosynthesis simulation experiment. To do so, you should be on this page. It says part two, where it says watch this first. You're in the middle of this video, so good job. In part one, you set up an experiment to test photosynthesis. In this module, you will run your experiment to test photosynthesis using this website. Let's go ahead and click on that and get that window open. When you get the window open, you may see this get flash. If you see that, go ahead and set OK and allow. Another way you can do that is you can click up here on this information, and you can say, instead of ask, you can say allow, and that is another way to get the same thing. You're going to need to reload to go ahead and apply those settings, and then you're going to see that your simulation is going to load up. So we're going to go back to the instructions right now, so let's go ahead and set that to the side. If you get an error message that Flash is not working, click here. There's some more troubleshooting help there if the fix I just showed you does not work. For part two, you must run your experiment and collect data. You should have made a copy of the assignment in part one. Do not make another copy. Search for Photo Distance Sim Lab in your Google Docs to find it. So you're going to go ahead and highlight this. You're going to Control C or Command C. That's going to copy those words. Then you're going to come over and open up your Google. Where is my Google Drive? Well, before we do that, we need to make sure that we are signed in as our CSD account, csd.org. If you are not signed in only to your CSD account, it will cause problems, so please check that before you do the next step. All right, so then after you make sure that you are logged into your CSD accounts, go ahead and click on the waffle. When you click on the waffle, you're going to click Drive. When you get to Drive, go ahead and search for Photo Sim Lab. Okay, I did a Command V or Control V to paste those words into the search. You can see here is my worksheet. I can go ahead and open that up at this time. So I've got my simulation open in a separate window. I've got my assignment open. I need to move it to its own window. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to click on it and I'm going to drag that tab out. And you can see that then just my assignment are in that. Okay, so I have a tab with just my assignment. I have a tab with just my photosynthesis in it. All right, so let's go back to our instructions. You must have 5 headings in your data table and at least 15 data points to get full credit for the data table. See the lab rubric checklist for help. All right, so let's look at my lab rubric checklist. Let's see what I am expected to have here. All right, if we come on down here, carefully, slowly, you can see an example in the lab rubric checklist that talks about what you need to have in a good data table and how to go ahead and label your headings and the first column of your data table. I would really recommend that you use that when you're setting up your own data table. All right, so let's go ahead and come back to our own assignment page. We're going to come down here. Here is your data table. You must fill in all of this. You cannot delete some of this. If you delete rows, if you delete columns, okay, you are not going to get the score that you would like on the rubric. You can add rows, absolutely. You can collect more data, but you cannot have less data than this. So how do I collect my data? This is the part that we're at. I need to know how to split my screen. If you do not know how to split the screen, please go back to the instructions at this time. You can click on this link right here. It will bring up several different sets of instructions. There are instructions for a Chromebook. There are instructions for a Windows machine. There are instructions for a Mac. All of those are there to help you. So I want to split my screen. So remember, I am going to have my assignment on one half, and I am going to have my simulation on the other. Now, for the purposes of this next demonstration, I am going to show you just the simulation so that you can see the whole thing. But when you're running the simulation, make sure you have the split screen so that you can take your measurement and come back here and put it into your data table. So let's go ahead here and run our experiment. You need to use this slider to choose your distance before you start. Okay, you can have it as low as 100 millimeters. You can have it as high as 200 millimeters. I'm going to start at 100. Then I'm going to go ahead and click on Start. That will start my simulation. Okay, so in the simulation you can see these bubbles. I would recommend that you use the space bar. And when a bubble gets to the H, you're going to go ahead and tap that space bar. Tap, 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 tap. When I tap, you can see that it's making a measurement here. When you have a low error rate, as you see, I have a 0.1 error rate. This number, the BPM number, this 204, is what I would want to record in my data table. I don't need the error rate in my data table. I don't need that. Let me show you if you did it wrong what it looks like. I'm gonna tap the space bar, tap the space bar, tap. Do you see how I have a really big number here of 8.4? This error rate means that I am not correctly recording or accurately recording the bubbles here. Okay, it means that I'm not hitting the space bar every time the bubble gets to the H. I'm not consistently doing it. The rate that I'm pushing my space bar is not correct. So this number 48 is not an accurate measurement, and I shouldn't use it in my data table. If you want to use the tap, you can. I'm going to demonstrate that now. Again, every time I see these bubbles hitting the H here, I'm going to hit tap. Tap, 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 tap. I don't do as well with this. That's why I like the space bar better, but my error rate is still really low. You want this number under 1. Otherwise, you don't want to use this number. Okay? This number is the number you're recording in your data table. You don't need this number. Okay? If you have questions, please email Mr. Violano or myself. You can use the question board. You can also use Canvas itself to send us a message. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks so much and have a great day.